Good morning and happy Monday to all. I had to think about that twice because of the last week. So I hope everyone had a good weekend and you start your week out with passion and purpose. Now, just a couple housekeeping items. Number one, I will be taking over the seller accountability session. So I hope you don't mind having a little more of me. Martha has some personal stuff that she's going through. So we wish her well, and she's been an invaluable contributor over the last 4 years. So now we'll have a full hour together, and I don't know whether you'll like this or not, but I'm going to be up your what about getting what done, right? So that's the first part. The second part is, look, kids are getting out of school, people are graduating. It is very easy to mentally check out over the next few months. Spring, summer activities create fall momentum. Fall momentum creates an epic fourth quarter. An epic fourth quarter creates a great 2026. You see, where you are in your business is a culmination of choices that we make. Now, I want to make sure that you all don't check out. So that's why we like to do the most fun part of the year, which is our AI courses during the summer. So we have a 3-part AI. If you were here last year, we did a really cool 3 or 4-part AI series. We have what I arguably will say some of the coolest stuff that we've ever made for AI coming out this summer. So stay tuned and look, simple exercise for everybody. Take your days off purposefully, right? Does anyone have a hard time planning things out in bulk? Nobody? Okay, none of you. I don't believe any of you, just so you
Maybe.
know. Look, there's a thing called the Big Ass Calendar Club. My kids always say there's a bad word on it, but it's okay. It literally is like $80. It's a calendar that's like a year's calendar. You buy these little sticky notes. Each sticky note depends. Each sticky note shows like a different area of like your business or ideally your personal life that you're doing. So take that and map your days off for the entire summer in advance, right? So your work expands or contracts to the time allotted. Now, if you allot the time for yourself, when you disconnect. That's why we're also distracted in work, because we're never really off. You know, it's interesting. There's a study done that said if you detox from your cell phone for 72 hours and you only do like the most things on there, it actually rewires your brain, right? So that is the importance of downtime. So those are our housekeeping items. And let's get into one of my favorite subjects where I still like to joke around and I still believe this to be true. I think I've done more open houses as a real estate agent than any human on earth. Because when I got my license, I met a gentleman at a gym, very random. And he told me he was in real estate. I was a financial consultant. Living at home in college with my parents. I had nothing to do but work and ambition. And I asked him, I'm like, can you sponsor my license? I figured a new home. I loved real estate, sold my first house. I had so much fulfillment, and I always thought it was like a full-time commitment because it's someone's largest financial purchase. So I quit my job. I gave up my salary, my benefits, my pension. My parents were, you imagine, thrilled. This was 2006, right in the middle of the subprime mortgage crisis. So the only way to meet people was doing an open house. So in the winter, if there was no heat, I was still in the house. In the spring and summer, if there was no air conditioning as they're being built, I was still in the house. I was out there 5 to 7 days a week with these signs, and that's how I built my business, right? The other part is there's a way to do this well, and there's a way not to do this well. I think the first thing when we talk about even executing a successful open house, how many people do open houses? Do you find it still to be one of the purest forms of getting leads? I do. Now, here's why, right? I see Wendy shaking her head. Now, if I did 4 open houses a month, right? Do you know what my goal would be? What would be your goal if you did 4 open houses a month? Somebody, anybody, Wendy.
Well, my goal is to get at least one new buyer or seller, like one new client per open house. My high goal is one of each.
Yeah, okay,
Stretch.
perfect. So here's where I want to realign expectations, right? My goal in 4 open houses, right? You had the prep and everything else, say you're looking at 4 hours a week, right? Fair answer, right? Because you got to put out signs, you got to market, you have to do stuff. Now, if I 15 hours a month, right, which is 2 working days, and it got me 1 new deal a month, that would be 12 deals across a year. You average your average price point, it is not bad, right? Like, not bad. I would trade if my average price point was $1 million, right? Would you work 16 hours a month to make blank amount of money? The answer is 100%, right? So part of this is our mindset, right? And we'll go into more about how to connect with people and everything else during the actual accountability session, right? Because look, I never thought of this. I'm going to meet 1 new person every week, right? So remember we talked about activity over outcome. Does anyone remember that? Outcome-based actions can lead to consistent disappointment. Outcome-based actions can lead to consistent disappointment. Why? Because we're tied to one result, right? The idea of finding 1 buyer and seller per open house is crazy, right? I will tell you this from somebody who's done well over 1,000 open houses. It's just not realistic, right? So number 1, you want to position yourself. How many people have origin point in their marketplace? Reach out to your origin point loan officer. There's a program that literally no one knows about, and I think I know more about it than the people that work there. It's called Buy Before You Sell. You can literally buy a new house before you sell your existing one, and a lot of people at open houses are undercover sellers, right? The way the program works is they completely omit your DTI from your current home. They pre-qualify you based on your current income and your assets. If you don't have a down payment and you're one of these COVID people that has massive appreciation equity, you can take a HELOC out, you can shop for a new home, you could buy it, you could close on it, and then you could sell your other home within the next 3 to 4 months. Many people want to become landlords, right? Now, in that case, they'll count 75% of the new market rate, which is significantly higher than whatever their payment is at 3-4%, towards the DTI. You can take the equity out, you can put a down payment down, you could buy a house, and you still will have equity. I mean, you'll still have margin in the payment for profit. That's a unique value proposition. Our follow-up systems need to be tight. So this is what we're going to talk about, but everyone reach out to their origin point loan officer and ask them, hey, Chirag, I'm coaching their entire bank. So you can, when you reach out to them, says, Chirag told me to reach out to you about the Buy Before You Sell program and how we could partner together on open houses. They'll be good to go. Make sense? And the other part is they also have a stated income loan program or bank statement loan program up to $5 million. And it's pretty close to market rate. Right now, it's priced a little bit under 7%. Normally, bank statement loans traditionally would go in the 9%, 8.5%. Like the payments and interest rates are egregious, and they're not like that anymore. It's a Goldman Sachs program. But if you want to create a unique conversation, offer unique opportunities. So let's go into open houses, and someone else give me a listing that you have live. Somebody give me a cool listing and put it in the chat so when we get there. All right, let's go through the open house playbook. This is a roadmap for today. Look, let's start going through broker open houses first. It's a place for agent to agent networking, right? The more relationships you have with agents, the better your co-broking opportunities are. And it also gives expert feedback, right? We talk about feedback. Please put the link to the property in here so I can pull it up. We talk about feedback. Feedback on what, right? I have this written right on my wall so I can always remember this. There's only a few distinct things you can get feedback on: price, condition, finishes, staging, and how well the house is organized. That's it. So you want to be really clear what you're creating feedback on, and it's enhanced exposure to brokers. It creates referral opportunities and it builds your brand, right? How many of you are team leaders here? A few of us. I can't see everybody's hands. How many people care about their personal brand in the marketplace? Mary Murphy, I see it. Everyone raised their hand, right? Well, your open house is a reflection of your brand. It's how I would say your brand in real estate is how people experience you, both in person, through marketing, through social media. It is an experience, which is your brand. So if I really wanted to stand out in the marketplace, I would create not broker open house, I would create events. I partner with, whether it's, their local businesses. Like we have in our event space, we'll have businesses that'll just be happy to set up a free booth because they want to get exposure for other people and they don't have to pay for it, right? People don't mind giving their products away for free because there's high margin. Now, open house, right? One, it's an expectation. You get exposure, you get buyer engagement, you could generate lead, you can build your brand. If you do really cool open houses in neighborhoods, what do you think the neighbors think? They want one of those open houses, right? I want a Kathy Denny open house. I don't want a Chirag Shah open house because his just have signs and a balloon, but Kathy's thing looks like a whole experience, right? Like I want that. It's an opportunity to tell stories on social media, right? You got to start being in the experience. Write this down: experience sharing business. That is what we're in. Homes create experiences, right? I remember being at the retreat in Denver, and I introduced a bunch of people to the broker, Karen Scott, that I work with here locally, right? So everyone pulls me aside, like, that's the one person you work with? Karen could take any house because I've known her because I was the first employee here in Westport. I've known her now for 7 years almost. No, let's see, 2019. Yeah, six years. She can take any house that I want to look at, and she could describe in intimate detail the experiences I can have, I can't have, and what I would be feeling on and what I'd be excited about for every single home, right? So when I send her a house with like a really cool backyard, or I click it in the collection, she's like, yeah, this is really great. Like you could definitely have your barbecues. You could definitely put an outdoor kitchen. It has space for a water slide. But what you're not going to like about it is the $100,000 in trees you'll have to put around for privacy, and the fact that the neighbors are too close. So you start thinking about these things, right? She can look at anything. She understands our functional flow inside and outside the house. She'll look at a house and she'll tell me, you know what, you don't want to live here because you're going to sit in crazy local traffic. And if it takes you 20 minutes to get to your house every day, you're going to call me complaining, right? So start thinking about that, right? Now, broker open house, identify the right agents to market to, right? Now, how do you identify the right agents? Network tool or the MLS? I would go back to every person, the buyer's agent and the listing agent, that sold a house in that neighborhood for the last 24 months, and I would use bulk email to invite them. If it's something really interesting, like I would be calling people, I'd be texting people. We're in sales, right? Now, market through storytelling, and we'll show you how to do this with ChatGPT, my fifth family member, later on. Now, here's what you want to do with the broker open house. Write this down: purpose, outcome, next step, right? First, prospecting is great on Compass for Compass agents, 100%. Purpose, outcome, next step. Now, you want to align with your seller in advance. Here's the purpose of feedback, right? Here's the outcome we're looking through based on these specific areas, whether it's price, condition, finishes, and here's the next step we're going to take. Now, why is this important? Because if not, assuming they say makes an ass out of you and me, you ever get all this data and feedback thinking it's logical and that's what your client wants, and you present it and try to get them to do something and they fight with you? Anyone besides me ever have that happen? All time, right? Because it wasn't explained to them. They didn't understand, here's the purpose of this, here's our collaborative agreed upon outcome, and here's what we're going to do with the data. You want to follow up with every broker open house, like all of them, right? Anyone that came to your house, you should call them, just say thank you. It's good for co-broke relationships. It's good for getting feedback. And again, that builds that brand in the marketplace. And then you send the seller a recap email. Pretty simple. Now, this is a process, right? Don't send the listing to every agent in your database, for the love of God. Like, do you know how much time our team wastes every single day, week, month, and year deleting all of your open house emails? And then I can't even unsubscribe because we're unsubscribing to emails. And then when you want to send me an actual email, I don't even see it because your name is blocked from my inbox. But I'm literally spending my time or an employee's time. Either way, I'm paying for it to get rid of bad emails. Don't do that, right? Don't do it. You want people, when they see your emails, to be excited. And we'll show you how to send an email out to your entire database and then not be pissed off. Storytelling, right? Identify key benefits to your listing. Backyard, kitchen, master suite, open layout. Your marketing needs to do that. And now we'll go into the ChatGPT portion. So hold on, give me 1 second. Let me open this up. By the way, there's a new feature. I personally would buy 2 accounts if I had to do this. It's a whopping $40 a month. It's like, not even the price of a dinner. But you can now connect with a Teams account. You can now, or if you have a team member, like if you have a CSC community member, get an account and just, do the accounting, like pay the other person, like, whatever the money is up front, however you want to figure it out. But you can now connect your Google Drive and your Gmail to your ChatGPT so it can sift through your responses, see how you write, see what's in your drive. It is pretty cool. All right, let's pull up a listing. All right, I'm going to look at these two and I'm going to pick the one which I think is the coolest. Oh, Sarah, $9.25 million. All right, that's one. 2.45. This one's cool too. All right. Let me just pull this up here. All right, we're getting in the weeds now. Everyone cool with the weeds? All right, Yolanda, my friend. Now look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You have lost my attention, right? I don't understand this whole, I want to show the house sequentially. You assume the average person is going to look 8 seconds, you have to gather their attention. So I would make the top 4 photos like my highlight reel. Right? Because if I see this and there are all these pictures of the outside, immediately my brain goes to, this is cool, but there's something wrong with the inside because they spent 10 pictures selling me the outside. And if you go in here, let's see together, it's a nice house. Great light. I would try to kill the drapes because it'll make the room look much bigger and open and not feel as closed. But again, there's like 7 pictures in a row of this place, right? So if I'm thinking through this, remember we talked about functional flow? You should pick the best pictures to highlight a functional flow. Like this is 84 pictures on. Like, look how beautiful that is. That's buried. That's off the master bedroom, right? This, where'd this go? This is a beautiful shot. That next one's a beautiful shot. This is epic right here, right? So this really is like a resort. Now look how cool this is in the bathroom, right? So we'll go here, solar panels. Where is the description? Public remarks. Welcome to a home that feels like a private sanctuary in the heart of our day. 4,300 timeless design, modern upgrades, sun-filled spaces await you. Right? This is pretty cool. All right, we'll go with this one and then we'll do the other one. So now I've pulled the link, right? The first thing I'm going to say is I need you to learn everything about this property, the surrounding areas, and the community to complete your next task. So what we're telling to do is we're giving it context, right? We're saying, I need you to learn all of this information about the area, the surrounding areas, the community, complete your next task, right? Great. I don't even look at this. I don't really care. It doesn't matter. Based on the pictures and the home along with the community, what are the 3 to 5 experiences a buyer could have living in this home? And what are the benefits of the community the home is located in? You see how this is pulling all of this out? Now it's an open house. I need you to act as if, right? You need to assign it a role. You act as if you are an expert copywriter with 30 years of experience specializing in selling homes through storytelling, sharing experiences. I need you to create an email I can send to brokers about this home. I've done so much private exclusive stuff. Not yet on the market. This is for a broker's open house. Do you see what happens when I did not give it the context? It's just assumed because I have 3-phase marketing stuff in here. Let's see, from the moment you walk in the double doors, you'll feel the difference of soaring ceilings, warm natural light, room after room designed for a living. The backyard straight out of a resort with the pool, spa, built-in barbecue, perfect for entertaining or escaping the day. Whether it's morning coffee on the private balcony, working from the floors for our office, or hosting holidays in the formal dining room, this home invites all. Enjoy refreshments, walk the home, see the property. Is this a compelling email that might make you want to come here? Isn't it better than what we normally send? Now update the subject line to make it so any broker would want to open. This is cool. The Chula Vista home your clients will ask you about first. I would open that. Like, what do you mean my clients gonna ask me first, right? So here's different options. Now create an email acting as the same role that I can send to my entire database that is not salesy, and that would create intrigue or a simple connection with anyone. I walked into this home this week that just felt different. You know those spaces where everything flows, the light just hits right, the layout makes sense, and you can actually see the life that someone can build there? That's this one. It's tucked away on a quiet street in Rancho Del Rey, surrounded by canyon trails, great schools, the kind of place where you could host big family dinners, sip your morning coffee off the balcony, or just unwind in your backyard oasis, pool, spa, no neighbors behind you. It's not officially on the market yet, but I couldn't help sharing. If you're curious or know someone who's been looking for a place like this, okay. This is on the market and no CTA in the email. Is that better now? We'll share this thread with you in the recap email. But this shows you how easy this is to do. This took us like 9 minutes, right? So put these prompts here. So look, effective feedback, we talked about this, right? Broker open house, you can personalize, send them emails like we did with ChatGPT. So here's the big thing with open house prep. You need to discuss the prep with the seller and the ideal outcomes. You want to walk the house if you can. You build out your market strategy, use storytelling, and execute an effective open house, right? Effective open house is creating that experience. Then you send them a recap. So you want to make your own prep checklist so you have something to follow. You want to go through this with your clients. Like people are like, oh, no one wants more meetings. Well, you highlight the meetings in advance to show them the importance of it and why, right? And then obviously the preview. Deep cleaning, staging. I don't know how many people miss deep cleaning, right? I've seen clients that have OCD open up a closet and like put their hands like this, but like, yeah, if it's this dirty here, there's more things wrong with the house, right? Repairs, touch-ups, optimize lighting. And when someone walks in, like whether it's through scent, like think of the 5 senses, you want to make something that feels at home. Run a digital advertising campaign, neighbors, neighborhood marketing, right? If I were doing this coming out of 3-phase marketing, I would door knock, use door hangers, send handwritten notes or call everyone in the neighborhood, invite them like 20 minutes before, have food, drinks, not expensive. And that will create that massive illusion of there's so many people interested in the house. And again, that's an opportunity to prospect Wendy sellers, right? Show them the experience you have. Show them how your marketing is top notch. Show them your social stuff because they'll go look you up on. So here is another ChatGPT prompt. Here's a list that you can walk through. And all of these things you're going to get, right? We have an email template that you can download and use, and then set up a meeting to review, right? Now, here's an open house script, and this will go right into the accountability portion, right? When somebody walks in the house, I'd say, Wendy, I know your time is valuable. What specifically made you take the time out of your day to view this home, right? Very important. Because in the end of this, it's all about them. They're going to tell you what areas of the home are most interesting to you. They're going to talk about that. If they say it's about the backyard, do not give them the entire home tour. They came there for the backyard. Go to the backyard. Then you ask them, what type of experience are you looking for in these, right? So if the conversation is going well, then you bring it to functional flow. Has anyone taken the time to ask you about your functional flow of a home or explain what that is? That's what we call a pattern interrupt. As soon as you ask that, people are like, what the hell are you talking about? Functional flow. And you start talking about it. Can I share with you the biggest mistake buyers make is not thinking about their lifestyle, end up with a home where they're trying to fit their lifestyle into versus finding a home that fits into their lifestyle. Now you've created intrigue and curiosity. Follow-up. Video follow-up is the best. My goal is from Wendy, since she's my open house person today, to learn one thing that she wants about like her connection to the home, that experience. Like people like, oh, I want a backyard where I can see my kids playing and I can cook. It's like, hey, Wendy, thank you so much for coming to 123 Main Street. Excited about the opportunity to help you find that ideal home where you can have that functional flow where you're cooking and you can see your kids playing outside. It's a center hub for all the people in the neighborhood. Let me know how I could best support you going forward. And lastly, has anyone taken the time to share with you the opportunity of seeing properties not on the market or available to everyone else? Let me know how I can help. Do not start talking about your private exclusives, your company. Like, don't talk about your private inventory. You don't want to give it all away at once, right? And the good is to build one relationship or open house where if you nurture them over the course of a month, you get one good client, right? All right. So that concludes our open house thing. Does everyone starting to see how easy it is to use ChatGPT? This is not rocket science. I will give you all the prompts. Like, don't you worry. All right. So now is the accountability portion, right? This is where we talk about applied learning. So if you just came for the main session, great. It's a good time to drop off. If you want to stay on for accountability, this is the perfect time to stay on. So let's talk about doing a lot of things really well, right? Does anyone have a predefined follow-up plan that they want to share that's working? I have 40 plus of the best brokers in America. No, okay. Do you see where the gap is here and the opportunity? So who does a lot of open houses like weekly?
I'll go.
Michael.
During open houses, we kind of use the same kind of making them feel comfortable, ask them what they're looking for, the experience, and then we follow up with a video and we invite them to our social platforms so they can see, kind of get a better feel for who we are. And that seems to do well. We engage with a lot of people that way.
So that's one, right? Now you're engaging them on, let me tell you more about me versus being more curious and learning about you. Right?
Yeah.
Wendy, what do you do?
I'm sorry. I am not successful at open houses, which is why I'm listening. I do many open houses and I must be in a big slump because I don't have one buyer or seller that has engaged me. So I'm not going to answer your question because I don't think I'm doing it right and I don't want to put that out there. I don't want to put something bad out there for somebody to take as a good idea.
Well, no. It's not gonna be a good idea, but we want to, like, this is the benefit of this. I'm going to use your two scenarios. And I'm going to work through them and give everybody a solution.
So what's your question you want me to answer?
What do you do? Like, if I meet you in an open house, we had a cool conversation. What do you do next?
During the open house?
Yep.
Okay, so I meet them, I engage them, and I do use the thing that says, what made you take the time to, come and visit today? They talk, I say, great. They ask a question, I answer it. And then I guess I just don't have the skills for them to give me their contact information for me to really follow up. So I do ask and say, I'm available for help if you need anything, but somehow there's a disconnect and I don't have that. So.
Okay, so ready? Perfect. So now we're gonna do some live coaching for both of you, right? So when people say what to, did you do an open house this past weekend?
No, I've been sick.
Oh, okay. All right, the weekend before, do you remember anything about it?
Yes, I do.
So when you ask somebody, like, use a real life scenario, right? I don't like talking in theory. So if you said to me, or if I said to you, what took you, what made you take your time out of your day to see this house? What are the kinds of answers you got?
Sorry, Chirag, you're speaking so fast. I'm not catching all your words over Zoom.
Let me go slower. If I asked you, right, like, what's a common response to the question, what made you take the time out of your day to visit this home? What do people normally tell you?
Oh, we're just looking at open houses in the area. We're looking, that's one answer. Another answer would be, well, we want to move into this school district, or I mean, those are the two common ones.
Okay, right. And you say great, right? So you can use bridging words like help me understand, or out of curiosity, what are the things that make a house feel like a home to you? Or what are the types of experiences you're looking for in a home? I know you have nailed down the location, but like, what's your ideal lifestyle in a home, right? What's your ideal lifestyle in the community? And if somebody's like, why are you asking me all these questions? You could say, that's a good question, right? Look, I'm being curious to see how I could be most helpful, but if you want to tour the house on your own, and if I could be helpful after, please let me know. They'll go off on their own. People that want to engage with the broker will engage in those conversations. Right? Now, if I say to somebody, remember our CCQ format, Wendy, clear, concise, quantifiable?
Okay.
So if I said, if you need anything, or if I can be helpful, please let me know. In somebody's mind, that's not clear as to what the offer is. It's not concise and specific on how you could help me. And there's no quantifiable outcome for me, right? So if you feel like you're there, you can repeat back to them like, hey, Chirag, thanks for taking the time to come here. It's really exciting to learn about blank, 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 right? Has anyone taken the time to share with you the opportunity of looking at off-market properties, the ones that are not available to everyone else? And like, what do you mean? And you're going to say, look, there's list of homes that we have access to that are not on the market, that some choose to sue privately, some inventory our company has, that I can share with you what's the best way to get into contact with you. You can start the conversation.
Okay. Thank you.
Michael, for you, right? Take a video. Share, bring back, remember their whole Med C or what they're excited about a house, and then bring in the off-market property, off-market opportunities. It's a great way to dangle a carrot. Namita, you're on mute.
So I haven't done open houses recently, but I've got two coming up. So, but what I've done, I have at the end of the open house, I usually have a lender there who's brought some goodies, drinks, etc. And then she takes my video, and it's in a place where it's well lit, etc. And basically, I say, thank you very much for visiting the open house this afternoon at such and such an address. And I look forward to connecting with you in the next few hours or within the next 24 days, next 24 hours. And thank you again. And then I reach out to them if they've given me their phone number and email. And I do try to get them, we have the open house launch connecting the Compass app. We have that open house thing where they can fill in their phone number, email, etc. So it automatically goes into my CRM and I can follow up. So that's what I've been doing.
And that works well, right? So does anyone, before we get into role playing, does anyone else have anything that they're doing that has worked well? All right, good. Lots of room for opportunity here then. I need two people to role play. All right, Namita's one. You do realize it's better to do it here in this circle of trust than it is to practice on your clients. No one cares what you sound like. And I respect the people most. It's, Deborah said to Wendy, thank you for being honest. I'm in the same position. The question that one person asks, at least half the other people are thinking it. So we have Nomita, who will be you can be the client. And now we need one person to be the agent. Sharon.
I'll do the seller.
Oh, who said the seller?
I did.
Who's that? Okay, perfect.
I did, but it's fine. If you have somebody else, that's fine.
No. Sharon's on deck next, so we need one more person. All right. So the part that we want to nail here, right, is that beginning part, right? So let me pull this up here so you can have it up here. Put the script up here, right? All right, so Nomita walks into the open house, and now Wendy will greet her, right? And so the goal is just to get this first part right, because it's the most important part, right? How it starts is how it goes. Nomita's in the house. Wendy, you can greet her.
Hi, thank you for visiting the open house today. Nomita, are you there?
Yeah, hi. Well, I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I know your time is very valuable, but I was just curious, what specifically made you take the time out of your busy day today to view this specific home?
Yeah, it's first of all, it's summer, schools are closing, and we are thinking of moving up to this kind of a neighborhood. And of course, the schools are attractive, and my kids are in that, it's between elementary school and middle school. So we think it's ideal to make a move at this time.
I see. I see. Well, what areas of the community or the school are you most interested in?
Specifically right around here, around this same school, Alta Vista neighborhood. That's what I'm interested in.
And then what type of experiences are you looking for when you move into your next home?
Can you explain more? What do you mean by experiences?
Oh, it's a great question. when you when you buy a home, when you move into a new place, you bring with those all of the livelihood, the culture, the energy. What makes your home like? What makes a house a home? And so I'm just curious what you're looking to do in terms of building those memories and the lifestyle that you want to have in your next home.
Very well. So what I want for my kids is to have be in a neighborhood where there are other kids that they can go out, run out and play. Their kids are in the same school district, and that there are community events that happen in the neighborhood. That's what we had in our last neighborhood. So I'm looking for something similar. Yeah, and that's
Nice.
important. Yeah.
Sounds important, and what a beautiful experience. Has anyone taken the time to ask you about the functional flow of your home or explained what that is?
No, I don't know. What do you mean by that?
Actually, I don't really know.
All right, we
Let
can
me
pause
just
right
go
here.
back and figure out what that means.
We can pause right here, right? So both, I think overall, I think Wendy did a really good job, right? And like if we have to tighten up the words, right? It wasn't so bad, right? So what I can tell you with Wendy is you just need to get the reps in, right? So you used the word specifically twice, you said it once, right? Also, when you talk about experiences, right? I just added this, so it's not on the script, so this is on me, but in listening, this is the benefit of doing this. What type of experiences you're looking for in your next home that you may not be able to have in your current home, right? It creates that gap. Remember, we create the gap, we fill the gap, right? That's really good sales, right? The second part is functional flow is understanding a functional flow is really the premise that we work by, Namita, that helps you find a home that fits into your lifestyle. So we want to understand what type of experiences you want to have inside your home, within the community, and overall how you see yourself living at home, whether it's during the week, weekends, holidays. Like, what are those things that are important to you? So we create a filter that you can see each home through the experiences of your life and how you want to have it. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's interesting, right? Because no one else is saying that. Everyone's like, look at these kitchens, look at this, right? So, she was happy, Wendy, when she did it. Spot on. Make sure you introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Wendy. Thank you for coming, right? And you don't have to say, what's your name? It's implied. If they want to give you your name, they're going to give you your name, right? So I think overall, I think you did an amazing job. You should be incredibly proud of yourself. You need the courage to put yourself out there. So look, at the end of this, I need you to find a role play partner, right? Nomita, what did that feel like for you as the buyer?
No, I thought, she did a good job. And as she said, about the community, etc., did remind me to talk about the community. And then when she came to functional flow, which is something new that we are using now, I had to ask, like, what did she mean by functional flow? Because I also wanted to start using that language. So
No
that's
one,
what.
no one will know what a functional flow is. It's something I made up one day at night when I was thinking, I'm like, oh, this sounds cool. And like, this goes here and these pieces go together, right? Look, the other thing that you could highlight about Nomita as the buyer is she spent a lot of time talking about the neighborhood, the community, right? And you could say it is clear in listening to you that the neighborhood, the community, and that vibe, right, is really important to you. Now, while we focus on that, and it's implied we're going to work together, let's go through the house, right? I'll walk through this house with you. Tell me, like, what's it like? How important is the backyard to you? Like, this house is a great backyard. Is that one of the reasons you came? And walk to the back. Say, like, if you were sitting here in a perfect world, it was, the summer, the holidays, highlight some of those things. Like, how would you want to use this space? Is it fit your lifestyle well? Are there any constrictions? And you get them talking, right? They'll have so much rapport of you. And like, if you focus on doing this to build one good relationship a month of somebody that wants to buy in the next 4 months or less, your business will grow. Does that make sense? So if somebody does a lot of open houses right now, put your name in the chat, right? Wendy will connect with you, and you guys should start role playing this every single day. 15 minutes, right? 7 minutes one, 7 minutes the other, and 1 minute in the end, you can say hello, right? Not like, hey, Chirag, how's it going? Oh, yeah, the market's like this. No, jump right into it. All right, so we had Sharon Davis up next, and Herman, are you volunteering as well, sir?
Yes.
All right. Well, we're gonna ask Sharon to mute yourself. You volunteered first, and you're a lady, so ladies first. Pick. Do you want to be the buyer or the agent?
I'll be the buyer.
Okay. Herman, my man, that's an Eagles fan. Me too. All
That's
right.
right.
Chirag, just one question before, really quick. We are assuming that a lot of people is coming to the open house. I don't do a lot of open houses. I did one this weekend, and just 3 people shows, and all of them were neighbors. Just trying to see, trying to compare the prices of their house, but nobody's kind of interested in buying.
Well, that's I wouldn't say nobody. You have to look, anything in life comes down to one thing, marketing, right? Like whether it's calling people, calling neighborhoods, right? Like asking, whether it's your database, I would run more money on digital ads, right? And ultimately, if something's overpriced, nobody's going to come anyway, right? And in some places, you have to look at the data and look at the average days on market compared to the last 90 days, right? If those days on market are going up, it's showing you that it's shifting more towards the buyers, right? Which means you're going to have to work twice as hard to get people in there because people have more options and people are more conservative.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
let's get into this role play, and then Suzanne will answer your question. All right, so Sharon, you walk in. Herman, you can greet her. Go.
Hello, Herman Ross. What made you, I appreciate you stopping by today, and I know your time is very valuable. So what made you stop by and to view this home?
I was driving by and I saw the sign and I thought I'd just come in and check out and see what was going on.
Okay, well, thank you. So what areas of this home do you think you and your household would be most interested in?
Probably the kitchen.
Okay, well, let's walk over here to the kitchen. As you take a look at the kitchen, what experiences do you think you would be looking forward to have in this particular area?
I think I'd be interested in a kitchen that has it's set up in such a way where I can transition from the stove to the table to the countertop without bumping into things and without having to move around a whole bunch.
Okay, so what I hear you saying is that you're looking for a kitchen where the work areas are very accessible to you. So that would allow you to be able to enjoy this area a lot, to enjoy this area. So
Sure.
what other areas or flow of the home do you desire?
Maybe a backyard.
Okay, well, let's take a look at the backyard. As you see, this backyard has a pool and also a very nice patio. What type of experiences do you think you and your family will enjoy in this area?
I don't necessarily know that we would use the pool a whole bunch, but sitting out on the patio, I could see us doing that.
All
Say
right,
that.
pause.
I apologize.
Ready? So, all right. So one, Herman, I commend you because you literally followed the script verbatim. So I always find that good, right? Sharon, what was that like for you?
Well, it was fine. Now, I will say personally, if he asked me this when I first walked in, I don't know that I would be ready for it. If he asked me all of the questions from the very beginning. Now, maybe after I walked through the house and he asked me, then I would have been more ready to answer the questions. But from the beginning, I don't know that I would have been so ready to open up.
So when you come into a house, right? Like, look, what I want to show everyone in this is everyone just needs to practice, right? Like you do these open houses today, you're going to do them a week from now, you're going to do them from a year from now, you can do them for a while. So you might as well get really good at them, right? So you come in and like, hey, I'm Chirag with Compass. Thank you so much for coming. She introduced herself. Hey, come on in. And as I'm walking in there with you, don't stop them at the door, right? Hey, you know, I know your time's really valuable and it's a weekend. What specifically made you see this home today? Oh, great. I was just driving around and everything else. Perfect. You know, this house has so many great features. What specifically about this home made you want to come here, right? They're going to say, oh, like, you know what? I really love the kitchen. Great. I'm going to walk into the, here, let's walk to the kitchen. Great. Now, you know, a kitchen can mean so many things to different people and families, whether it's dinners, get-togethers, holidays. So when you think of a kitchen for your lifestyle, what kind of experience are you looking to have in the home that has the right kitchen, right? Like, I'm just making this all up as I'm going, but like enthusiasm comes with the confidence of practicing, right? And Herman, the more you can get her in depth about her experiences, right? Do you guys entertain often? Yeah, we do, right? So what kind of experiences would you potentially be looking for in the kitchen and how it flows that you may not be able to in your next home, that you may not be able to do currently, right? Don't say can't or can do. Well, we can do it. Like, it just becomes combative that you may not be able to do, right? Or you would like to do, right? And you get them talking. And what you realize is when you follow this method, subconsciously, they just start feeling comfortable with you, right? It's the most important part. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
All right. So before we go forward, let's talk about what we're going to do next. Hear me when I say this to you. And this is called the carefrontation. If you don't practice this, you're never going to get better at it. If you never get better on it, you're going to keep investing time where you're not optimizing yourself. You know, my dad sends me these motivational texts every single day. Let me read you the one I got today. It says, you get the best out of others when you get the best out of yourself. Meaning, in this context, you get the best out of the other people coming to the open house when you get the best out of yourself. If you're doing open houses, you should practice, right? There's no reason not to. Practicing is a choice. Not practicing is a choice. Practicing being comfortable and having that confidence when you go in there is a choice. Reverting to default and being uncomfortable and throwing your hands up why it's not working is a choice. So if open houses is part of your lead generation strategy for the entire year, put your name in the chat and look at each other's names and reach out to one another. Welcome to Accountability Sessions with Chirag. It is my weird obsession to make you sure that you use the information that you learned. And the fact that there's 40 plus people here and not one person has put their name in the chat besides Wendy is very concerning to me. Okay, if I see you, you put your name in there too. All right. Victoria, put your email in there.
Chirag, can I ask a question?
Yep.
When I do open houses and I greet people in and I do usually give my, thank you. I usually give my name and stuff, let them walk through the house, ask them if there's any questions I can answer. And then I really kind of go into, I apologize, I don't mean this to be offensive, but the Med-C open house, that's kind of how I'm thinking it in my brain, those types of questions, figuring out their motivations and their expectations. And kind of roughly using that script, and I will tone it down. I guess I'm having a hard time knowing when to ask them for their contact information. Would you be willing to kind of just go through that? I don't want to go through an entire role play, but I've asked about.
I'll get to the end, right? A call to action, right, is a natural next step to a conversation, right? So if you think about it, at the end of it, I'd say, hey, Wendy, or like, hey, Sharon, it's really great to listen to your experiences. And this is what a home would be like. You know, I can help find some unique opportunities as well as properties that are not on the market and available to everybody. What would be the best way for us to connect? If they want to give you their information, great. If they don't want to give you their information, hand them your card and you could say, hey, and when they said, no, we're not really ready. You know what your answer is to that? Completely understand. Know you're in the information gathering phase. Here's my information. Here's my personal cell. And when the time is right, reach out to me and know that I already know a few things about the experiences you want to have at home, and smile and say, appreciate you taking the time to have a conversation. Bye. That's it.
Thank you.
And what is everyone else going to do? Can you sign in? Can you do this? Can you do that? Right? Listen, there's nothing wrong with saying sign in so that my clients know who's in their home, right? And everyone should sign in. You don't want strangers going through a house, right? It's like, I don't know. I have my own views on, now you see all this crazy stuff online, like about liability and everything else. So it's something interesting to think about, right? And that's it, guys. Like that's our thing for today. Do you guys like to, I haven't done one of these in a while, so you guys like the structure of this?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, you guys will
I have
be
a
with me now
question.
for the, what's that?
I have a question. So, there are some of our sellers who do want to know the kind of people who came through or who came through. So, what is a better way to ask them, asking them about our sellers would like you to,
Simple. When
sign
they're
the
coming,
guest book?
when they're coming in, you could say for security reasons, our clients want to know who is coming through the house. And if you never want to hear from me, that's fine. Just check the box and I won't reach out to you. And it's more honoring the request of my sellers where I have to collect the name and information of everyone that comes through here.
Okay, great.
And then put like an opt-out box, right?
Thank you. Yeah.
I have to tell you this, like I'm sure you can probably see the look on my face. Like I had a great time doing this with all of you today. So thank you. This is why I'm like a weird real estate nerd. Like I really nerd out to this stuff. And like these little tweaks and like actual conversations to closings. Like I love this stuff. Like this is like, they say if you play sports, it's like for the love of the game. I love this game. And it's like you can learn such little things and do them well. And when you realize that bringing a great salesperson is nothing more than understanding how to be excited, enthusiastic, listen, engage. We have the most challenging career in the world, and then we have the greatest career in the world, right? We already know why it's challenging. It's like 6 jobs built into one job, right? But the most exciting part is like, what do you really do, right? Like you're on your phone, you see cool properties, you help people's dreams come true, and you have to be organized, right? And you get to have cool conversations. And you get to go to these amazing Compass events and broker open houses. Like if you change the I have to do this today to I get to do this today, your whole life changes. Just simply shift your perspective and everything else will shift. So with love in my heart, I love you all. And so look, dive into the AI, practice. We have a cool set of names in here. So let me see if my team can just loop everyone into one email so you guys can connect. And somebody please put us on BCC after the first response so we don't clog up our inbox. It's always very much. It's great etiquette in email when someone does not need to be on the email. Just hit BCC. Wayne, I love your CSC shirt. So I'm working on new swag for everybody. So bye, everybody. Have a great day.